Junkies!
Anthem 2, which sadly met its demise officially today because EA has pulled funding from it, and I know Fallen Marvel's sad. I damn sure know Amarok is sad. But let's talk about Anthem 2, its demise, and really the games as service format. Like, is it really viable? And if it's not, why is it not? GQ, what do you think of games as service type games?
Before I get to that, appreciate it looks like 2 cheers of 500 bits, so that's 1,000 bits.
Yeah.
So y'all are just having a bidding war.
Yes, yes, they are. They're keeping the hype train going. That's all good.
Games as a service. Now, here's the thing. Games as a service for a lot of people started with this generation, even maybe one back last generation of gaming. Realistically, in a weird roundabout way, Capcom has been doing games as a service since 1991 because, we had Street Fighter. And now, granted, it wasn't the same delivery method. It was like, hey, if you want to get the rest of the characters, buy the game again. I don't mind games as a service in the sense of you can come out with a game and then just keep adding to it if the game is worthy of being added to. Like, for example, I just almost finished. I've got to 100% the last DLC on Spider-Man to finish that one.
Yeah.
But that was a cool service add-on. Now, granted, the City Never Sleeps and the add-ons that they did for that were pretty short, but at the same time, it was like I got the Game of the Year edition, so all that stuff was included anyway.
Right.
But it was a good addition. It was some more fun stuff to do, more fun story, that was being told. So I mean, that was cool. One of the big ones that started for this generation was Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct, of course. Started off with a free-to-play model, or you could buy, the one that had the season pass type of setup. Who was
Thank you,
that?
Preem. Another 500.
Okay, Preem over there trying to be big baller over
Yeah, I know, right?
throwing bits everywhere.
I know, right?
Okay, I see. Appreciate you.
You making it rain.
Yes,
right.
sir. No, I honestly don't mind it. I mean, if it's done within reason, you can't. Like, the reason I didn't like Killer Instinct when they first started it was like, okay, you download it for free to play, and they're rotating out which character you got to play, and I'm like, okay, that's not.
Yeah.
Like, just give me
right.
a roster of fighters to pick from. I don't want to be sitting here waiting every week. Who are they going to let me play with this time? It's
right.
like, nah. And then Street Fighter came out with 16 characters, no arcade mode, blah, blah, blah. We all know the story. But at least with theirs, they updated the game as they went, and every update that was not gameplay related. I'm sorry, every update that was gameplay related basically was free. So if they added arcade mode, that was free to you. If they added the cinematic story, that was free to you.
It was the characters.
Yeah, the characters.
Charged.
But even still with the characters, they were the only fighting game of this entire generation that let you play to get the characters. You didn't just outright have to buy them. You could, play, get fight money, and buy the characters using in-game currency.
Tekken didn't do that?
Nah,
Tekken 7 didn't do that?
Tekken was like season pass, buddy.
Okay, all right.
Same thing with Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Fighters did the
same thing.
thing.
Season pass. Only thing you got free in Tekken was the costumes and the customization items or whatever you got. You could use game money for that, but
Okay.
If you pay me.
Yeah.
Yes,
so, Fallen, real quick, you played Anthem. You enjoyed Anthem.
Yeah.
It lost you. Why?
Well, 2 things. One, I think I just happened to play something else that kind of just got my attention, and it was just one of those things where, it happens to a lot of games. It doesn't mean that I think the game was bad or anything. It's just sometimes like I wind up getting into a different game that winds up getting my attention, and I know it came out around like February 2019, I think. So I think like around that time, I forget what other games came out during that time, but just something kind of just sort of swept me away. And the thing is, of course I heard like this, that, and the third about why the game was buggy and this, that, and the third or whatever. So it's, it's like, again, I'm one of those people that waited out to see if it does get fixed and not willing to just basically just put it out of its misery and just stop playing. So, it's kind of like what Amarak was saying on one of our past streams, is that there was a lot of good ideas.
Oh,
with this
Minority
game.
Games got 1,000 bits. This
Appreciate
man's
it.
coming for Preem's top
Appreciate
spot.
you.
1,000 bits. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you,
Appreciate
sir.
you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, this was a game that had a lot of really good ideas, and really had a basically an original world that they could have built off of. So whatever the case may be, EA, BioWare essentially being at the mercy of EA stock shareholders, or whatever the case may be. It's at this point, it's just EA being EA.
Okay.
At this point, and it's disappointing. It's really disappointing.
It
It's to the
is.
point where I can't really trust anything that comes out
Of EA?
from under the EA
I mean,
umbrella.
you're not wrong. Look at Madden. Look at NBA Live. What happened with that? I mean, that just turned into a complete train wreck. Star Wars before Squadrons and by extension
Fallen Order.
Was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not wrong, absolutely, to question EA and kind of like their, coal mine or basically factory way of just churning out games that don't really mean anything, but just are there just to generate some cash. Similarly, Avengers caught me at the beginning. GQ bought it because I was like super hype, and I thought it was going to be really, really great. Even I have to admit that it is falling off, and granted, it is facing a lot of hurdles with COVID and stuff like that, but at the same time, that doesn't matter in the long run, because you still want content. So out of the chat, we got a lot of things to talk about.
Yes, sir. Minority Games with the 300 bits.
Yes,
so
thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't hear from Dido yet, though.
We didn't. So
why?
if you can bring up, go ahead.
Because I don't play Anthem.
Well,
no,
no,
but you
can talk about games as a service.
Yeah, just games as a service
well,
in general.
I've always been a person that games as a service kind of pisses me off because, when you started playing games, you bought a cartridge and then later a CD, and everything was on there. You played it, you opened stuff up, you got what you paid for, and now you, like back in the day when MMORPGs first came out, EverQuest, I think it was, people started to like, oh yeah, you should play EverQuest. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play EverQuest. How much is it? Oh, it's like $30. And then, then you got to subscribe. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't. You either give me the game for free and I'll subscribe to your service, or I pay for the game and there's no subscription to it. I would not get into it. And even though Phantasy Star Online is not a game like EverQuest, it's like EverQuest Lite, because you only played in parties of 4 and it was the same dungeons over and over again.
I'm going to let you finish. Minority Games has cheered another 1,000 bits.
He's coming. He's coming for
it.
And I have to drop this out there because we're gonna have to wrap up this topic in a minute. But you guys keep that hype train going. I push the submit to send the emotes out to everybody that did participate. So enjoy those. We all want to thank you very much. So wrapping this up.
No, let Dido finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is that Phantasy Star Online for me was free to play as long as you had a phone. So it's just, I don't like the whole thing where I'm buying a game, and I understand they want to keep it going because it costs so much nowadays for these games to go, so they want to add stuff on it to get money from it. But I just think it'd be easier, because could you imagine if a movie was like that? They turn all movies into TV shows, and like you go and watch 2 hours of the movie, and it's like, come back next week when we finish up the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm just
Preem with the 1,500 bits. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my man he's just raising the stakes. Here we go.
Yep.
But I do, going back to what you said about Spider-Man, and when I played the original game and the DLC was coming out, I absolutely enjoyed that because it felt like the story kept on going. It was unfolding like it was a comic book.
Right.
Like you were getting a brand new issue.
Right.
If they were to bring out a Spider-Man for next generation or PS5, and they were literally to just make episodes that come out like maybe every other month or something like that.
Somebody tried that a long time ago. It didn't work.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, technology now.
No, it's not about the tech.
I'll just wait till that game of the year, like you said, because I got the game of the year too.
Yep.
Actually, I'll have the other one as well.
Yeah, but but what if you got a full game first?
I know.
And then you expand it?
I understand that, and just so we can quickly wrap this up.
Yeah.
The reason, like I said, I can deal with games as a service if it is a good service. Because, for example, you have, again, going back to fighting games. Fighting games is a perfect example of that because, like Dido said, back in the day, you played it, you unlocked stuff, boom, that was cool. The way they have it now, there's so much more they can add to the game, more characters, more this, more that.
Right.
And I think being able, because, like, for example, Street Fighter V now versus what Street Fighter V was when it originally came, two completely different games, damn near.
Yes.
You know, so it's like if they would have had basically, let's say they had, you can unlock all those characters. You would have been all the characters with the same engine, same V skill, same, like, they added a whole new they added a whole nother gameplay mechanic to the game now. So the game, they're changing the meta of the game. So being able to add stuff to fighting games for me is perfect because it's like, I don't have to go out and buy another, because if you look at it, there's technically 3 different Street Fighter Vs out right now. I would have had to buy each one individually back in the day. Now it's just the game upgrades itself. And if you want the extra characters, buy the season pass or unlock them.
See, I like that for fighting games. And they did that in the arcade, as you said before, because that's what Street Fighter Iteration. I have no problem with that for fighting games when they change the what you call it.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish they gave me a reason to play them more hardcore. Than,
I got you.
Like, you know.
A couple of final comments. One, Wolverine Solid X says your mug is dope.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
And Casitas 75 says, look at GTA. You look at GTA 5. That game came out in 2013, and it's
still going strong.
Yeah. Like it's
'cause that
almost
online
been
is killer.
10 years.
Yeah, that online is killer. And it's I think that's why we haven't even seen a sniff of GTA 6 because it's like we're making money hand over fist on that online service.
Yes.
So the game has changed, you know, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So
last final comment. Can I get a Virtual Fighter 6 just like this game?
No, Sega hates you, man.
Can I?
I would like Sega.
I would love to see it too, but
if Sega was like Nintendo, we would have a Virtua Fighter 6. We would have all the iterations of the great game.
Virtua Fighter is Sega's Metroid. They ain't trying to touch it for nothing. They just like we forgot all about it.
Yeah, but they forgot about
revisit it every now and
They
again.
forgot about Golden Axe. They forgot about like Jet Set Radio.
All right. Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.